fucking hope not. I fucking hope not. I don't know how that would happen
You got
again.
pink eye?
I don't know.
Again, he got pink eye
From
again.
what? I
The
haven't been.
poo.
I
Dude, quit
haven't.
Poo
wiping
everywhere.
your. You gotta wash your hands after
I'm
you
not
wipe your ass.
sticking my face in anyone's asshole.
And it's your poop, dude.
It's.
I'm not wiping my ass and washing my eye in the
I'll tell
shower.
you
I go
what.
top to
You're
Honestly,
bottom.
you
going,
know where
oh,
it's
I got an
from.
itch.
You know where it's from.
What?
You work in a hotel, right?
Yeah.
Doorknobs.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't. Yeah. I mean, that could be anything, though. Yeah.
That's such a luxury when you're at a hotel and you just fucking have a shit covered hand and you're just touching all the doorknobs and stuff.
Yeah. I don't. I don't
What do you
see
carry? It's not your house.
I don't
It's not
see
like
why
you're a
that would be
plumber at a hotel.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
You got one of those. You work at that Dunstan Checks In hotel too. So
I guess.
you got a hotel that's mostly Dunstans.
That's
in there.
That's monkeys.
Yeah. You got one guy who's a human and it's like a reverse Dunstan situation.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Well, I
Got a lot
should
of
know. I
monkeys.
should know because I'm the one experiencing it, so I should know.
Yeah.
There
It's
should be a
chaos.
reverse Dunstan checks in where it's like a bunch of fancy monkeys, and then there's like one guy
Yeah, yeah.
who they can't get rid of.
That's kind of like what Happy Gilmore is. He's kind of like the reverse Dunstan a little bit. Human Dunstan in the Gulf. Just saying.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Thanks. Speaking of reverses, so we watched Hunger today. Mike, when you were in jail, you did the reverse of kind of a hunger strike, right?
What do you mean? I just ate whatever I wanted?
Yeah, you did like a
Yeah.
strike against being hungry.
Yes, of course. Yeah. That's
Dude,
all
just
that's all you really do is you just kind of sit around, eat snacks, and watch TV. That's all you really do in
you're
there.
eating the jail food after being out of jail, actually.
Yes, I
Yeah,
was
you are the
cra-
opposite of this guy.
I was craving a spread and I ate them a few days in a row. But now
Yeah,
I recognize that's bad for me.
What is that again? Was the jailhouse spread?
So you take ramen, you put that in hot water, you let that sit for like 2 or 3 minutes. You crush up all your whatever your random chips you got are, your hot chips, your chili
Doritos.
cheese, your Doritos. You crush all them up in a bag. And then when the noodles are done, you mix the two.
Oh,
And then you put in mayonnaise, mustard, pickle juice, jelly.
Ew. Gross.
Jelly, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, it tastes hella good. Soy
no,
sauce.
no.
You put the ramen pack in it, and then you shake it all up into like a mush.
This is a sweet and salty combo, and
Exactly.
I get it.
Exactly. You can make a sweet and sour sauce out of basically jelly, one of your drink packets, and a little bit of soy sauce, and it tastes just like sweet and sour sauce.
What you should have done was taken all that
Yes.
and made a little bowl
Yeah.
and
A
then
little
pissed
fort.
in it. And then pissed in it and filled it with your piss.
Yeah. That was
Why not
gross.
both?
That was very. I mean, I don't know if that was grosser or the just shit covered walls, but both are pretty gross in this movie.
They're pissed off, all right? Okay, they're in the IRA. They're political prisoners, but Margaret Thatcher says they're criminals. They're just regular old violent criminals, and they're like, "No, we're political. You have to respect us."
It sucks that they hate powerful women. These guys.
Is it like
they're Catholic?
Yeah.
You know, they're old school.
Yeah.
the English were Catholic too, right? They just decided they didn't want.
No, they're Protestant.
No.
They
I'm not
reached the
saying-
Church of England, baby.
What I'm saying is, throughout the history of time, back before the Church of England, England was Catholic as well, right? I mean, the whole fucking world was Catholic at that point. And then
Well,
that
hold
one,
on.
that,
I mean, the
that
whole
one king,
Europe, mostly Europe.
that one king didn't like Catholicism, so he switched out with the Church of England, right?
Luther Vandross, King
Yeah.
Luther Vandross. He
Oh,
said,
hell yeah.
Yes, I
None of
recognize
this.
now they're Protestants. I get that.
He
Church
just
of
wants to
England.
make some sweet love. That's all that was his religion.
What
The
about
Irish-
dancing with his father?
the Irish were like, no,
Luther Vandross.
we
danced with his
we
father.
don't like Luther
that's one of-
Vandross. We
that's one of his
like
good songs.
the Pope.
Dancing with my father.
Dance with my father again. You never heard that Luther Vandross song?
That's the sickest song I've ever heard.
Oh my god! Come on, man.
You ever dance with your father?
I
Oh,
don't know if I ever have danced
At
with my
dancing
your
with my
father.
father.
wedding,
I thought
he has the first
Luther
dance.
Vandross was like a ladies' man,
He didn't give
Yeah,
you
he
the first
is.
dance
the daddy's man. No, I didn't have the first dance with my dad. Fortunately, I
at the
wish.
wedding. You're in a dress. He's just dancing with you, kissing
Yeah.
you. Mm, mm,
All right.
mm.
Don't get too excited.
Um, Now, I did a lot of research on the IRA, on
Good job.
Ireland,
There we
Northern
go.
Ireland. Now,
Hit it. Hit us with it.
okay, this is gonna blow your mind. Why why is Northern Ireland part of the United Kingdom and why is the lower part of Ireland its own country?
Because they got in a war.
They
They
had a
they
war and they
lost
were
part of their
fighting,
shit.
but the
Yeah.
people in the northern part of Ireland, you're not going to believe this. They aren't from Ireland. They were
Oh,
from England and
duh.
Scotland, and they were living
Scotland.
there, ruling over the Irish people. And they were like, "We love England. We're English."
So Ireland was just like the colonial outpost.
Yes.
Yes.
Could you
God
believe
damn it.
that? But in
These fucking
Belfast,
British bastards.
I don't know, there was still hella Irish people, hella Catholics, and they were fighting back.
All over. Yeah. They're all mixed together up in there. That's why it's a problem.
And they wanted representation. And look, I don't know enough about how the English uh, parliamentary system works. I don't know what these Republican Irish guys were trying to gain. They wanted voting rights or something. I really don't know.
In the
I
simplest, they were trying to kick them out. They were trying
they
to
were
kick out the English and the people who are loyal to the English. Very
well,
simple.
they were outnumbered. And then the other thing
Yeah.
is
Yeah. Sure.
the English were gerrymandering them to take away their rights. Adam is pissed. He's reacting hard. He's throwing
I
fists in
can't
the air.
believe it. Those
And
guys.
then
I hate them.
but so from 1969 to 1998 is essentially the Troubles. And it ended with some sort of agreement,
Good Friday Agreement.
but I don't look. I don't know exactly what they gained. They apparently, I guess, they fixed the gerrymandering and they got more representation. And I mean, they haven't been. You haven't heard shit about it since then.
Oh yeah,
So I
because
don't.
Ireland is still a thing, right?
It's still part of England, still part of the United Kingdom.
It's basically like the end of Braveheart. People just got bought off and everyone went home. They stopped fighting. England paid everybody off.
Damn. They can never like let you just like win.
We won.
Yeah.
We fucking won hard.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we got our own country.
Mike, what does the Ring of Power say?
And then we got beat again, maybe
Oh,
25 years later, War of 1812.
Or I thought it said like because like we War of Independence was ended because we basically agreed to let England keep their like financial
Hold over us.
stakes or something like that.
Their
But
central bank.
that doesn't seem right. Yeah, central bank stuff.
Yeah.
the pound. Fuck.
We went to Pound Town. It was
The
not a good
pound has a
time.
weird symbol. I don't like it. Um, Looks like a lady with a big ass. Now,
Yeah, ours looks like the Stussy logo, kind of. And that's
Sick.
cool. Yeah.
these guys in the movie Hunger, their IRA, they're locked in this English prison, which is in Northern Ireland. I believe it's called the Maze. The movie is shot in the real prison, the
That's cool.
Maze.
Always like that. Always appreciate that.
So this movie, it's
Was
a
that real
very,
shit on the walls?
And pee on the floor.
I don't know.
How method is Michael Fassbender? You know what
Ugh.
I'm saying?
He's dead. I mean, spoiler alert.
Yeah, the actor died after.
He died. Now, this movie is about IRA guys and they're in a prison and they're protesting for their own political rights. And we've been doing prison movies. And this is a unique prison film. This is the political prisoner film. And political prisoners are the most annoying prisoners. They are the most angry. They have the most demands, and they just nothing makes them happy. You can't please these people.
Yeah, what's their problem? Their strike begins with a no wash strike.
Yeah, which is what a child does when they don't want to go
Yeah.
to. I will not take a bath. These guys
First, they don't want to
refuse to
wear their
take a bath.
clothes. First, yeah, they first refuse to wear the uniforms, prisoner uniforms.
What was the other part? It was no wash and no something else. I can't remember what the
No
other part was.
wash,
No
no
bathe.
uniform.
No uniform. Okay, they're not gonna wear the thing.
That's a good way to show
Rags and tatters.
hunky guys, by the way.
Oh yeah, we forgot
Let's
about
face it.
that. Some juicy cock and those hot bods.
Steve
They're
Oh my
McQueen
god.
is a
skinny.
famously
Uh,
gay
uh,
filmmaker.
He's
Brilliant
not
man.
gay.
Steve McQueen is not gay.
no way, that guy's
No,
not gay.
The director of this movie,
no. He
he's
has a
not a gay
wife.
black man.
No, he's an English black guy, and his wife is, I
That's
think,
basically
He's
gay.
I think
English.
his wife is
That's
Dutch.
is English.
Oh
I
my
made a
god.
mistake. I thought he was gay, just but
All
he
these
happened to be English.
European fuckers.
Hey, for a straight guy, he's got a real eye for a man's ass. This is like cast the dream, gay cast. I was like, this is like I thought you could tell that this is a gay director just by the casting of the asses in this movie because they're all like
He's got a wife
nice,
and kids.
shapely asses. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
A
Well,
white
either way,
wife.
a white
Oh,
wife.
come on.
But
Good.
she's
Well,
Dutch. She's Dutch.
That's the
okay.
worst kind of white.
That's the
They're tall
white.
and skinny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, no, you're
That's
kind
the
of
kind you
right.
don't like.
Tall and skinny. Ew.
They're
Is
pretty
she?
good.
Wait,
They're the
horse?
best
Is
if you
she?
want to
How's
smoke
she
a
look?
little Chiba. You know what I'm saying?
Dutch treat.
Hell yeah, dude. Dutch Crunch. Your favorite bread.
That is good. I should get that tomorrow. Now that you mention it.
He's gonna make a
Now,
bread run.
he's not gay. No, but these guys, these are hot
I'm
dudes.
so
And the whole time
surprised.
I'm thinking, like, these skinny, thin, starving, naked guys, like, we need to get a band because they got a great look. They got long
Mm.
hair, they got beards.
Yeah, they just seem like a
They,
noise band or something.
well, no, I mean, it's like pop punk, British, Brit pop,
Yeah,
Oasis style music. I want to see
yeah.
them rock out. I don't want to see them like snorting little notes up their nostril and they're like putting things up and down, up inside their butt.
How do they do
A
that with
radio
them?
in her pussy.
Yeah, radio in her pussy. That's pretty cool.
That's a great scene when the lady takes the radio out of her pussy and she like smiles as her husband has to put up his butt. Um, Look, these guys these guys they want clothes. And how are you going to get clothes? You're going to refuse the shitty clothes they give you.
And yeah, and then they're rubbing shit all over the walls and stuff. Oh, remember that? Another reason why I thought this was definitely a gay filmmaker is that one shot of the shit on the walls that get before the guy like pressure washes it.
Why would you think he was gay?
Well, it looks just like a giant butthole. Like, doesn't it?
It's just
That's
it's just
like
a
one of the
spiral.
gayest shots I've ever seen that does not involve
It's a
like anything actually gay.
It's a spiral.
It looks
It's
like
like a
It's
goatsy.
gay.
It's like a big like
Spirograph.
abstract version of goatsy, basically. That
It's a
shot.
beautiful shot.
It's a lot bigger than you think it is until the person walks into the frame, and that's just what I liked about it. But the bigger the butthole, the better. Is
You
what I
think like
always
gay
say.
guys like see like a polka dot shirt and they start jerking off because they're like, hey, wow, look at all those buttholes.
Yeah,
This really does it for me.
yeah.
Or
Well, if
like
they have a good imagination, I could see that.
the steering wheel of this car, man, that's hot. It's a big circle.
Yeah, the rim. You're just like circling the rim of the hole when you do a big right turn. All right, it's not gay. Okay, that's fine. That's
He's
cool with
not
me. I'm
gay.
happy. I'm
You're
totally fine with that.
hold on. Maybe you're gay.
Am I reading? Every time, everything I watch, I assume the person is gay, and I read into all this gay shit. But
I think what's the recurring factor?
yes, yes, I see. Well, hey, maybe I am gay. Got to try it out, Mike.
Gotta try it.
I gotta try it. I agree.
Mike, you want you want me to butt fuck you or you butt fuck me?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. I'm already confirmed I'm not gay. You still need to
Okay.
experiment.
I still in my college
Or
phase, like a college girl.
you need a boy toy.
I might I need a little I need a little twink like these guys, like a little hunky twink.
Little
It's always naked.
skinny Irishman,
I want to hold
These
him
guys
down
are
and
all
cut his
men,
hair.
dude.
graggly.
These guys are laying in a pile of shit. There's just a shit covered room. The movie's like two halves. So the first
Oh,
half is just this
gross.
one. It's like the new guy. He shows up. They look in his butthole. Then he gets nude. He gets into his shit covered cell. Then there's like a scene where he gets like a little nude photo or drawing or what?
Yeah,
Was that
what is
his
that thing?
wife?
He jerked off to
It
something
was
weird.
so folded. It had so many folds. It was like checkered. It
Yeah,
was
I
this
couldn't tell
tiny
what
little
it is
picture,
either.
like 3 inches wide, and
I've been that desperate before.
he slowly jerks. Now, while he's in the movie, the like actually the first main character we're introduced to the movie is a prison guard and a limey bastard, and he um the first thing we see him is like he's washing his knuckles and they have like wounds on it. It's like really beautiful photography. Then he eats a breakfast set up by his wife, and you see like the crumbs on his like
Yeah,
napkin, and then
Slacks.
he brushes the crumbs away. Quite poignant.
then you see him get outside, go to his car, and the first thing he does is he gets on the ground and he looks underneath the bottom of the car while his wife is watching him through the window, all concerned.
Yeah.
And then when he starts the engine, he's just like, he like takes a deep breath and it's just like, all right, I guess there might be a fucking bomb in my car. And then the car starts and he's like, oh, okay. And then he like drives to work and he like honks at his wife. And they don't really provide a lot of context for these characters or who they are, what's going on, except like you do get like snippets of the news on the radio. And on the radio, it's like explicit information that sets up the movie. And, it's like shit of Margaret Thatcher just being a real
Bitch.
cunt. I mean,
Dude.
is she a,
God, what's her
why,
problem?
what was going on in
She's a
England?
beautiful lady.
It
She's
was
a
just like
hot, strong lady.
a very conservative time.
And then they had what? Austerity?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, why what
What
led
was
to
wrong?
Margaret
Well,
Thatcher?
it's like, was their empire collapsing or something?
I guess.
And
Basically.
then,
They
you know
just
what
were
I think it
losing all
was?
their like swag. You know what I'm saying? We were
I
getting all
think they
their
had really
swag.
high I think they had really high taxes, and their empire was collapsing, and they were going broke. And then it was kind of like she was like, "We'll cut taxes, and then you'll have money, and we'll have less programs, and then people aren't working because there are programs, or
The
I don't know."
usual.
Their
Oh man, one of us
country,
should know this stuff.
well, I mean, it's like
William.
early '80s England. Like, what does England make? They don't make shit. Their whole thing was we conquer countries, we sell the things those people grow and develop or manufacture.
Oh, this is interesting. Maybe it's
They're
like they kind of were their colonial projects had begun like because you're not,
The,
yeah, that's if you're
the whole
doing
thing
that,
was unraveling.
you're not like an industrious people if you're just like colonizing and exploiting. You
No,
know what I mean? So like they're at that stage where things are kind of like hydroplaning a little bit. They're we you know what I'm saying?
their
spinning their
empire,
wheels.
Spinning their
their empire
wheels.
was crumbling, and it's not like people were buying a Jaguar. Ooh, this is the finest automobile, the Jaguar. That's all they. What else do they make?
Financial finance things.
Now they were the
Bob Hoskins movies.
financial leaders of Europe. And originally, before the United States stock market was big, their stock market, I think, was established. But over time they've just lost influence. Since Brexit, it's really gone off the rails.
Maybe it's partly because wasn't the 70s like a big period of revolution around the world? Like, and maybe this their colonies were, you know what I'm saying?
The 70s had a lot of stagflation, a lot of
Yeah.
inflation. So it was high unemployment, high inflation. And that made people reject um like liberal politics, basically. Where that's where
I
they
don't
were
know,
like,
man. This is a lot to bite off right now.
yeah, so their
It's a
country was in the
political
shit.
movie.
It's yeah, I mean,
That's all you need to know.
look, we aren't experts. We're trying to learn. If you know, maybe hit us up on X.
There's two parts to the movie. There's the gross cell, shitty cell part, and then the gross watching the guy die part. It's just a very gross movie. Uh,
It's artsy.
yeah, I guess. I mean,
It
It's
I
is
get
all
artsy
it.
about
I
like
get
fartsy.
that it's
it is
good.
all about like nasty shit and stuff
Uh,
though.
The
That's
movie
but this
reminded me
director has been
of Zone of Interest.
oh yeah, what's up?
in what
It's
way?
very, in terms of tone, in terms of like
The dry.
artiness, and yeah, like not explaining things, showing things.
But this
Just
director
like
also like
they would make a
gets
great double feature.
oh yeah, take a girl to that fucking be like and then afterwards
Make out the
try
whole
really
time.
hard to fuck.
Make out the whole time.
Be like, so are you horny too? But this director, because 12 Years a Slave, like
It's a laugh riot.
was yeah, like it's this guy. It's like he was criticized for that with that movie too of focusing on like the most brutal thing elements.
Not the positives of slavery. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, see, he focused on the wrong
Or
thing.
Well, no, that's not why he was criticized. He was
not
criticized. No, hold on.
okay.
He was criticized
Clarify
on
for me.
12 Years a Slave because the slave was
Conservatives.
rescued and saved by a white man.
Oh, I thought it was well, I thought there was also
That
some
was the main criticism was like, why can't he get himself out? And it's like, he's a fucking slave. How is he going to get
Yeah,
out?
you know, he
Some
can't.
he's
dopey,
a slave.
He's gonna run
some,
off and get killed.
Brad Pitt
some
has to
dopey
save him.
Canadian guy saved him. And also it was a true story and it follows the book very closely from what I heard. So
Well, this director like just like doesn't shy away from like
he's not
showing like
American either.
graphic scenes. He doesn't like, you know what I mean? He doesn't cut ahead of like graphic stuff. He shows the
He's
guy
into the physical.
getting
He's
beat up and
into,
stuff.
but ever since
That's why I thought he
that,
was gay too, because it's like the gay filmmakers are all about like the human form, the human body and stuff like that, like showing that on screen as like a visual thing and like and all this was like
what is
naked
this? What are
guys
you
getting
talking
punched
about?
and stuff. I just am trying to explain why I thought
Which
this
gay
guy was
director
gay.
is all makes dirty, gross movies?
I thought every gay director was about all interested in the human body.
Like who?
I don't know. I just that's
You're just making things up.
no, I don't. This is true. I'm sure of it, but I just
These are not true things. Now,
okay.
after 12 years, so he
I
made
think I was just
Hunger.
thinking of Steve McQueen.
The first time he was making, the first day of Hunger was the first day he had ever been on a film set, professional film set. He had only made art installations before he was a fine artist. So he made Hunger, Shame with Michael Fassbender also, which is very similar to Hunger. It's like a guy who's a sex addict in New York.
Doesn't it seem like a gay movie?
No.
You
And
show
then
us,
he
you see
made,
his huge, sweet cock and stuff. Like,
that's tough. That's all straight. That's for the ladies. And then he made 12 Years a
oh yeah,
Slave. He won, which won Best Picture. Did he win Best Director? I can't remember. There was some controversy about Best Screenplay. Then after that, he's making like sentimental movies. He's making like nice movies. He's not making his movies since then. I can't even finish. They're just like he makes very
didn't he make?
I mean, are they woke? I mean, they're just like kind of like boring,
Didn't he make like some
nice movies.
crime movie after
Oh,
12 Years?
Widows. He made
You
Widows, and that
yeah.
which is a remake of a miniseries from England. And Widows is very it's an interesting idea. It's just weird. I mean, it's just kind of lame. His movies are
Never
just
heard of
kind of
it.
like he kind of lost. He lost the speedball. I like this artsy shit. I like Hunger. Hunger is my favorite movie of his. I've seen this movie so many times.
What do you like? What break keeps bringing you back?
The thing I like about this movie is just how good it looks.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. Also, like this that scene in the middle that's like 20 minutes long is
It's
that
a
or the
17
shot.
minute it's a 17-minute shot of two people talking
And it's a
back and forth.
it's really good.
And you can't understand maybe a quarter of it.
Oh, Mike, this is your problem. You got to put on the subtitles for a movie like this.
I did after like the first 5 minutes where I'm like, I
Okay.
can't understand what they're saying. And then I did put the subtitles on, yes.
Okay. Okay.
And even those subtitles, some of them are wrong.
Oh Lord.
But that's fine.
Oh,
I could get
they
the
did.
gist of it.
Um after
I get you.
their no watch protest, they succeed in their no watch protest in the film more or less, and they are given civilian clothing, which is supposed to make them happy. But the guards are all laughing. They're like, "Here's your clothes. Here's your new clothes," and they're laughing, and they're like ugly clothes. They're like tacky, corny clothes. They wanted their own clothing. They wanted their clothing that they had come in the prison. They wanted to wear that, or they wanted their wives or their parents
I
or
mean, who gets what? Why are they being like that?
I thought the clothes they handed out with them were like jail clothes. You're saying those are like other civilian clothes they brought in to give them to appease
in
them?
Like a Tweety
in
Bird
re-
shirt.
in
Like,
reality, what those clothes were secondhand used clothes. In the movie, you see like a shot of it on the bed.
Like a golf
They look
outfit.
they look brand new, but they're just tacky English clothes.
Oh, okay. That's
And
so
they
they like
hated
rip
it.
them up.
And they like break, and then their like room has been cleaned, power washed. So they destroy everything in the room. They start tearing everything apart, smashing all the new furniture because they were sleeping on mattresses in like piles of maggots. And they were
Oh
like,
yeah, the maggots, dude. Why did they? I felt like at a certain point you're just being like a slob. It's you're not doing like a no wash strike. You're just, you know what I'm saying?
they said they just get used to it,
A
waking up
pile of
with
maggots.
maggots on their bed, and they just like brush them off.
In
And you can
college,
see
I remember one of my roommates. He found a bowl like a cereal bowl that had been under his bed for like 6 months, and it had like a colony of like
ew.
it was like its own biosphere. It was really disgusting. That's the kind of thing
maggots.
that I feel like these guys were doing.
Yeah,
They're just being
they're
like
college.
college guys. You
They're
know what I'm
just
saying?
college dudes.
It's like a
In
frat
college,
house.
I made one of the worst mistakes of my life.
Go
It
on.
was we were given a sheet to fill out. Like, what kind of roommate do you want? And I was just like, I guess I was hungover. I was in high. This is like the summer before college, so I was just like, I don't want to fill this out. Fine, I'll fucking fill it out. And I just wrote like, I don't care, 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 I don't care.
Oh boy.
You're
And
we're
I
just
got
like a
the
complete
two
psycho.
worst roommates
Okay.
who just didn't care about anything. So all my roommates were crazy the first month, like first few months of college before
Nice.
I switched rooms. And these guys I was with were just like gross. They didn't do their dishes, and then like they ended up putting me with this psychotic, um, like pathological liar named Dan from Philadelphia. And at first, it took me like a few hours to realize like everything this guy says is a lie. Because he was like, "Hey man," like he's like, "Oh hey, how's it going?" or whatever. Like we were smoking weed, and then he would tell stories like, "Yeah, I used to do animation in Vancouver because there's a big visual effects scene up there, and I was on the set of Dark Angel with Jessica Alba. I was an extra, and there's a scene where you can see me in the background smoking a blunt, and I was like, "What?" Like we were
What are
like,
you,
"What?"
what are you talking
That's the
about?
coolest lie I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like such an insanely stupid lie. And I was just like, and he would because he also told me this thing where he's like, I used to be able to buy an ounce of weed for $80, and I thought like, no, that's and he said he would smoke it every day, or like an ounce would last him 2 days. Like he would just lie about everything.
Yeah, you're like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And then
You don't
one,
have to do this.
You're like, I
and
think
Bless
you're
after,
his
lame.
heart.
You're not changing it. You are lame. I am
Yeah.
not going to think you're cool.
It's very
so I,
human, actually. He just wants to be loved
so I made
by William.
friends with these other guys. They're in my class. I got along with them. And then I told the school, like, hey, can I switch rooms and go with these guys? And they're like, yeah, sure. And so one day I just moved all my stuff. I didn't tell him, I just moved it. And then the
Okay.
next day he was like, what? William moved out in the middle of the night? But anyway,
And then
a
he
month,
tells
l-
his other roommate that, and their other roommate's like, yeah, yeah, whatever.
well,
Yeah.
no, he was
Like,
happy.
sure, fucking
He
liar.
had the place all to himself. It was like
Oh, hell yeah.
there were these lofts that the
Worked out
school
good for
was
him. Yeah.
renting and we could all live in them. So about a month later, this kid, like a student wanted to borrow one of my DVDs, and I had this giant chest of DVDs that I just stolen from Target, like in high school, and everybody would watch my DVDs. So
It
we go
sounds
to
like
the
you were a really
apartment.
cool guy.
It's all I had were movies, you know.
Everybody,
So then
everybody watched my TVs.
we went to my new place, and then we're in the new place, and we see this like 6-inch brown puddle coming in through the wall,
Oh,
and it's like, ill. What is that? Poo water or something? It's like water. So then we go. So I have my key to my old place still, and I open the door, and Dan was a giant slob. All his stuff was on the ground, all his clothing, all his books, magazines, everything he owned was just like on the ground. And the toilet had overflowed and had given like 3 or 4 inches of poo water everywhere on everything he had owned.
Oh
oh,
my God.
And then, and I was like, holy shit, because I used to live in that room with him.
Like, as a guy with who currently has pink eye, I wouldn't be so judgmental. Okay.
So then I had to call Dan. I was like, hey, man, this room is overflowed with shit. And he came and he was just like, so, and he was devastated. We all felt bad for him because it's like, yeah, Dan's a douche. He wears a fedora. He's a liar. He's a dumbass.
That's a
But
funny
he had,
detail
no
to
man
drop at the
deserves
end of
this.
all this. He was
and
wearing a
then he,
fedora the entire time. He was like
yes. And then
pathologically lying.
he
That is
had
awesome.
to, we had to watch him as he, like, I was able to mop up the mess in my loft, like, pretty quickly. I was like, yeah, it's a puddle, but at least I'm not Dan's thing with just shit water. So then he was just like cleaning up his place, all the shit water, and it's just all gross. And they're like, we're in Oakland, and these like little black kids on bikes were like, oh man, that's Dookie, and they're like riding their bike around in the neighborhood and having like laughing at him. Anyway, 2 months later, Dan dropped out of school. He had this brilliant plan. He got a credit card. He ended up just maxing out his credit card, buying a laptop, and then he was like, I'm going to Italy. I'm going to paint. And we never saw him again.
good for him.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That was a fucking lie, probably, but like he probably didn't
He's,
go to Italy.
I don't think so.
I don't think he
But
was painting either.
he
But yeah.
was from Philly. We went to the grocery store once and he saw Tasty Cakes and he went
Oh,
crazy. Oh, Tasty Cakes.
you got tasty cakes here? Those are good
Easy.
though. Those are good though. They have them at the cheesesteaks, the cheesesteak shop.
Hell yeah.
Restaurants. They are good.
Dude. Well, I thought you were going to segue into the thing that remember that long shot in this movie of the guy mopping up the pee
Yes.
hallway? I was like, this movie's a little long. Do we need to see this guy mopping up the entire hallway of
I
pee?
thought the same thing. I didn't understand. I didn't understand why that was so long.
But hey, it
Well,
was a
the other thing
powerful
that
scene.
happens is the prison guard guy who's like fighting people. He ends up
Being
cutting the hair
murked.
of Bobby Sands.
Oh yeah.
He cuts his hair in this bathtub and he's like scrubbing him really hard. And there's this awesome scene where he tries to punch Bobby Sands, but Bobby Sands ducks and he punches the wall and he's like, fuck. Hurts his
Yeah.
knuckles. Anyway, this guy, he visits his wee mom at the retirement center and she's like catatonic. She doesn't speak. And he's talking to her about flowers. And then this IRA guy just walks in and blasts him in the neck. Blood squirts everywhere, goes all over the mum. He just dies.
And the mom, it doesn't react, but everybody else does because their mom is catatonic.
Yeah.
Um,
Pretty
She's got
cool scene.
Alzheimer's or something.
she's not like,
This is
whatever,
what
who
we need in
cares?
movies. We don't need all this lame backstory. Just show us the killing, the pooping,
Yeah, you got to show the
the
pooping. It
peeing.
was cool.
Naked men.
It was cool. That was a cool reveal of Michael Fassbender. The way how they like, because it was just like this hairy guy, and you're like, what the fuck is that? And then they like cut his hair and stuff. You're like, oh, look, it's Michael Fassbender. That's his first appearance in the movie, isn't it?
Yes, and he's like
Yeah. So
Jesus
like,
when they
yeah.
drag his ass out of the bathtub, and he's like kind of like Jesus.
There's two other guys that the movie follows, two other prisoners that they follow before that. So you kind of think it's like one of those guys, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, it's a movie. It's the guy. It's Magneto. You
But
know?
he wasn't really famous at this time.
No, of course, but
But he became famous very quickly. Like he did in Glorious Bastards same year.
oh wow, he's kind of got like an Ewan McGregor quality. Beautiful eyes. He's a beautiful man.
Blue eyes.
Baby blues.
Um,
Have you seen Train Spotting 2?
no,
Train Spotting 2 is pretty lame, but Ewan McGregor
Awesome.
looks so much better than all the other guys. And like he looks like
because he's been a movie star for
he's
20
he's
years.
like a healthy movie star, and the other guys just look so shitty. And I feel
Just
so
like
bad for
regular
them.
people.
Their hairlines are just like
Oof.
halfway back there on their head. It's such a lame movie. It has all
That's
these
too bad.
callbacks. They like redo scenes.
They did, it's called T2 though. Is that funny? Is that funny?
Oh, it's lame. It's really depressing.
Hey,
Can't
what are
go
you gonna
back.
do?
You can't make Hunger 2.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
H2.
Hey, who do you think would win in a fight? Michael Fassbender, skinny Michael Fassbender, or the Machinist?
I mean, skinny Michael Fassbender looks pretty sick.
I didn't see The Machinist.
He's dying. He has like
Well,
bed
picture them
sores.
like in the peak of the skinniness before it starts to get really. Yeah, you're right. Michael Fassbender is kind of like fucked up immediately once he starts doing the hunger strike.
His hunger
Christian
strike he
Bale is
goes
like
on.
banging a prostitute and stuff. Like,
Yeah, he's not eating anything. So he goes on a 66 hunger strike, 66-day hunger strike before he dies. And in that 17-minute long scene where he talks to the priest about it,
yeah,
he
let's talk about
says,
that.
before they did a hunger strike all at the same time. But then one guy would get sick, he said, and then they would feel bad and they wouldn't go. They would like feel bad and like he would eat or something. So they couldn't really do it. He said, what we're going to do is I will go on a hunger strike until I die. And then the next guy will go on a hunger strike until he dies. And then so on and so on. And they did something like, and like 22 people died in their hunger strike, I think, before Margaret Thatcher conceded that they needed to compromise. And then while he was on the hunger strike, Bobby Sands was elected to parliament. There was a guy who died who in their area, and there was a snap election. You know, they always have that in England, snap election. And then Bobby Sands won from prison. And then England, he died like 20 days later. And then England passed a rule, you can't be an MP from prison. So they don't
Uh,
want that.
well, that's another thing. A thing about like how like this movie focuses on like the most brutal elements. It's like another movie would have shown that was happening outside of the jail. You know what I mean? That like
Mhm.
people were like getting into him and like supporting him and stuff. Like you don't
Like
see
a
that at all.
montage, like, come on,
Yeah,
Bobby,
yeah,
I'm voting for you. And they go, oh,
yeah.
who you voting for? I can't do an Irish accent. Vote for Bobby Sands, you wee cunt. One for Bobby. And they're just voting, and the vote is
Yeah.
coming in, and the winner is Bobby Sands. And he's just like in a hospital bed, like, oh, oh,
Yay.
yay.
It was cool how they bring him
bed
food every
sores.
day.
The food
There's
looks
like
so good.
the food
Yeah.
does look really good, man.
There's no way the prison food looked that good.
No way. Or they had that nice, clean hospital bed. Come on.
The food that Mike eats outside of prison doesn't even look that good.
See, it's fair enough.
Eating pork chop and mayonnaise sandwiches. But
Oh, mayonnaise is so
Mike, if
good.
you went on a hunger strike, how long
start it.
I
before you're
could
just like, fuck it?
2, 3 hours.
Yeah.
I
They
try
put,
Hey, that's
intermittent
you
fasting.
tried.
I have
It's
never made it. Never
no,
made
it's
it.
cool, man. You gave
have
it
you
your
ever
best
skipped a
shot.
meal?
Have I ever
You ever,
skipped a meal? Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely. Maybe one.
yeah. Dinner or
Did
breakfast?
did you lose weight in jail?
I did that. I did because you'd eat maybe once a day. So yeah, I did lose weight. And also the first time I went to jail, I lost a lot of weight because I didn't understand how to make food or anything like that. So yes, I lost a lot of weight. Then the second
Damn.
time when I went back, I knew how to cook food and stuff, so I didn't lose as much weight, but I did lose weight. Yes.
You only get to eat once a day in the commissary?
Uh, we it's just a matter of making what you have last for a week or so. You know, you order maybe $50 worth of ramen and snacks and all that. You got to make it last a week. So
But they give you one meal a day, at
they
least
give you 2 meals.
two meals a day.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They give you 2 meals. They give you a breakfast and then a brown bag lunch.
Oh, okay.
Did they give you dinner? No, I don't think so. It was just two. But no, the food they give you is inedible. Like literally, like you take a bite and it makes you gag and throw up. I couldn't eat it.
I kind of remember you saying that when you were in when we called you in jail
Yes,
that one time
yes.
because you were talking about food.
Well, look, it's just
When
like
you
there's
were,
nothing to do. Yeah,
I
someone
hear
made
you.
like a cake at that time, like a fancy
Ooh,
cake, like bread and jelly, and
I get it. Yeah, I
yeah,
mean that's like
What? That's not a
yeah.
cake.
It's what we have for cake.
William
It's
has
a cake.
better cakes than that. He's like William's used
That's
to
just
better
bread with
cakes.
jelly.
Well, then you layer it with some of the cake that they have in there, and maybe some sugar or something, maybe some Kit Kat bars or some shit. You come with weird shit.
That sounds fucking good, dude. Kit Kat
Yeah,
bars.
They
Mm.
might melt the Kit Kat bar in a warm water as like a
Ooh,
frosting
yeah.
or something.
I like the creativity.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
agreed. I can agree on that.
What about the creativity and hunger of the beautiful poo spiral?
Ugh. God, this movie is so gross in a lot
And
of
they
ways.
also the pressure
It's
washer,
good
the
though.
guy shoots the pressure washer directly in the center of the hole. This is a butthole shot, dude.
Yeah,
You
you
think
would
this
definitely not
calm?
clean a wall like that. I mean, as a person who's used a pressure washer, you definitely would have gone like left to right or
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
You're
wouldn't.
not like
No,
blasting the hole.
no.
Maybe the
Ugh.
guy pressure washing was gay.
Maybe Steve McQueen is bi or pan or something.
Interesting.
So
Could be. Why
just
not?
Maybe
throwing
you
that out
are.
there.
Are you pansexual?
Hey, it's all a spectrum. Mike is
Now,
pansexual, but
hold on.
personal pan pizza
Here's the
sexual.
thing about
Just kidding.
here's the thing
Bazinga!
here's the thing
You
about
got me.
pansexual.
Oh boy,
Aren't
William's
they
about to go off
aren't they just
on the pans.
bisexual?
Yeah, what's the deal? I don't like this. I don't like when they like start splitting hairs about
This
what they are.
these millennials are crazy.
He went he went off.
You got him. You nailed it.
Oh shit, that was fucking brutal. Brutal takedown. We got a real Dennis Miller hosting this podcast. A real Adam Carolla going off about coffee.
Oh, that's a good one. You want to hear something good? Adam Carolla doing a rant on coffee. He doesn't like fancy coffee. He likes regular coffee. He doesn't understand why coffee is so fancy.
That's a solid bit.
It's good.
So, anything you want to say about that one scene? Because I love that actor too from Game of Thrones, who he
Liam Cunningham.
Cunningham. Yeah,
The pre-scene
yeah.
made cigarettes
One
look
scene
tasty. That's
crushed
for
it.
sure.
They
Ooh, yeah, good cigarette scene. Maybe I
uh
should start smoking
the
cigarettes.
big apparently they shot it in 4 takes and they would practice it all the time in their apartment and it's like a little play unto itself. It's a very well written scene. I think the beginning of it it's kind of annoying. There's like, because you're like, oh, they're talking like joking around and they're making these like stupid little jokes.
They're both very like quippy and fast with each other.
Because
It's
it's like they have to establish all these things like they've known each other a long time. They joke about like funny Irish towns. They joke about cigarettes. They joke about how he literally rolls cigarettes out of the papers of the Bible. Bobby Sands. So already they're kind of setting up themes of him not respecting the church. And for him, I guess it's like he cares more about Ireland and the people that he does the religion, which a lot of people would think, oh, this is a religious war. I mean, look, it's like they crammed all the dialogue of an entire movie into one scene. It's so much dialogue, but you watch it with subtitles and if you know the context of the movie, it is a very good argument. They argue about everything, and Bobby Sands says like, "Look, you think it's suicide? I call it murder, and I think Margaret Thatcher is a murderer." And ultimately, he won people over. When he finally died, there were 100,000 people at his funeral, and it really fucked with Margaret Thatcher. It really fucked with her, and because she thought she could just crush these guys.
Yeah, fuck her, man. God damn. What the fuck? Fuck these people, dude. He's right. I support Bobby. Love Bobby.
So
Dude,
he
it kind of reminded me the scene of that scene in the also in the middle of Diary of a Country Priest, where which I just watched recently. That's what I'm thinking about. But like where it's like a theological debate between a priest and like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about? You know
I
that
never
scene?
finished that
I
movie.
didn't see that movie.
Okay. Um. Anyway, it's about like God. It's like where like God is in the
But the
scene,
priest is the lead
kind of.
character.
Yeah, yeah, but like God is in the scene in a way, and the priest is kind of like the speaking for God in the scene, and the other person is kind of speaking is like rebutting against God and stuff. That's what like Liam Cunningham, the priest, like there's a scene where or what's the part where like he's like he's like I'm gonna go now or I'm not gonna see you again. He says to Bobby,
Well, he also says like, "What about your son?" And Bobby's like, "Fuck you."
but there's like spiritual meanings to things like that a priest says in a scene like this, where the priest like is like, I'm not going to see you again, and then he like leaves. That's like God saying that to him. And like there's a
Well, Bobby says
moment
he
where,
would. Well, he says you're gonna go to hell because you're committing suicide,
and he
right?
explains why he's not. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he
It's
explains why
really
he's
good.
not. It's a. I
Well,
mean, it's crazy to do at 27 years old, just to literally starve yourself to death. And he says, and he also says that because he was a cross country runner, he just loved that feeling of pushing himself further and further and further. Um, and he got other people to do it, which they don't show, but it's pretty amazing. And ultimately, I think all they got were their clothes. They didn't
Hell
get.
yeah. How good were the clothes though?
I
did he
don't
get
even know if they
political
got.
prisoner status?
I don't think they even achieved political prisoner status, and but they had to. It's also interesting that the movie is focusing on this and not. We don't know why Bobby Sands is even in prison. We don't know
Oh,
if
like
he
what he
killed
did.
someone. We don't know like this movie isn't focused on the murderers because they were murdering people like crazy. They killed thousands of people in this war. And there is one scene also that's interesting where I didn't know what it meant when I watched it, where you see the guy who's like dressing him in bed or taking care of him or whatever, like one of the guards. He has a UAD tattoo on his knuckles. And I was like, what the hell is UAD? And then I looked it up. It's Ulster Associates of Defense or something, right? Like
Yeah,
it's the Protestant extremist group.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's the Protestant version of the IRA. So
Oh, okay.
They
Because he like
were
stands up and like I feel like
UDA,
he's
UDA.
standing up to him in that scene. He's in the tub and then the guy comes and sees his knuckles and he like tries to stand up, but he's hungry and shit.
So the prison guards are Protestants. They are supporters of England.
Well, the prison guys are English, of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
And they live
yeah,
in
Yes.
Ireland.
yeah. That's yeah.
So
Belfast is controlled by England at this time.
it's a very they made a lot of progress, but afterwards the IRA they bombed a hotel that Margaret Thatcher was in trying to kill her. And then she gave a speech 6 hours later because she survived. A few people died, and everybody was like, "Oh, she's so tough. She took a bomb like it was nothing."
Like Trump,
Yes.
the ear
So,
that it was magically healed.
I'm sure English people were just like, fuck the Irish.
Yeah, probably.
Fucking wankers.
They live in a shit room.
Meanwhile, I'm an American. I'm like, I can't tell these fucking people apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Re-
You both have
religions.
weird accents, just like get along. And you're
I would be
pasty and
like,
shit. Like
time to stop. You both worship the same God.
that would be cool. And they just
Just
all
because
rip your clothes off and rape you.
you got a
Clothes.
cross, you got a crucifix. The only difference, there's a little naked man on the Irish guys,
Oh, that's
and
true.
your cross is a little fancy. That's they. Hey, you guys both like Jesus. Let's stop fighting. Now
It
listen
is a
to
little
me
silly,
rap.
isn't it, when you think about it? It's
We're
not
all
even
sons of
like,
Abraham here.
yeah, we're all
Not me,
sons.
bro. I'm fucking Hindu.
Hell yeah. What's your god? Which one's your the big god for you? Elephant, the lady with a bunch of arms.
The chick. I worship the chick with 3 tits from Total Recall.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
I'm a Martian, bro. Mutant. I mean, the mutants were fighting for independence and Total Recall. Um, I think we can just say terrorism is cool.
One man's
It,
terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Sinwar.
who's the best
Yah
terrorist?
Yahweh.
Whoa, we mean worldwide of all time?
I'm going to say the number one terrorist group in the world is the Central Intelligence Agency. Think about that, bro.
Oh, that's deep. That's deep.
Who's the best terrorist? Osama bin Laden.
I
Uh,
get.
Fauci. The
Oh, I
best
see. I see.
terrorist
Oh,
is
these are joke answers.
well, who's killed the most in his bombs? Adam Bowers.
Oh,
My bombs don't kill people. Okay. They're
Boom,
harmless.
boom,
My
boom,
bombs are
boom, boom,
harmless.
boom, 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 boom. The number one terrorist of all time is Ho Chi Minh. He came from nothing. He liberated his country, and that country is still standing. Right?
Friend of the show, Ho Chi Minh.
you could say the same thing about Castro. So
Friend
fuck
of the
you.
show,
Did he
Fidel
fight the United
Castro.
States government?
Uh, I don't know if he was maybe involved
Kind of,
in.
but not really.
Yeah, not directly. Maybe proxily.
Hey, you remember that one shot of the where he's like picturing birds
Yeah.
He died.
and the camera's like swooping around?
Oh, I'm starving.
That's a
Did he
good
drink water?
yeah, you could
He
only
must
live
have.
for a
He
couple.
must have if he lived 66
How many
days.
days?
Okay,
I
okay,
remember,
okay,
hold on. I
okay.
could
Fair
tell
enough.
you.
That's what I thought too.
You can live, wait, oh
Seven
shit.
days, 7, 8 days without
7
water.
days without water, yeah.
So he did 66 days. That's pretty long. He must have been eating a little and drinking a little.
7 minutes without air, 7 days without water, 7 weeks without food, I think is the thing.
Um,
That's a fancy little saying we got there. Like a
Seven.
is that like a survivalist saying or something?
Yeah, I took like a survival class one time. My
Did you learn
wife
that
got it
from
for me
Bear
for my
Grylls?
birthday. No, I learned it from like some other loser who was trying to be like Bear Grylls. Wait,
Tight.
no, it says 3 minutes for circulation, 3 hours for exposure, 30 hours without sleep, 3 days without water, and 30 days without food, is
Well,
what
they're
they said.
wrong because he made it 66 days.
Yeah, what the fuck? I'm gonna go back and
If I was on a hunger strike, I'd be like, oh, oh man, mm,
Only milkshakes. Bring me milkshakes.
200 days. I don't know what the deal is. I'm trying to starve here.
How are you gaining weight?
Fucking hungry,
But
bro.
but that I was really impressed by the directing in that one long 20-minute like dialogue scene and or just like how good
What
the performance.
directing? Those actors
I
are doing it
know.
all themselves,
Yeah, but the
right? Come
but it's all
on,
perfect.
bro.
But
Yeah,
hey,
it's an audacious idea. I've never seen anything like that shot in any movie because it's
really?
like the movie's so slow, so visual with no dialogue for about 45 minutes and then to have a 17-minute unbroken shot of two guys and then just a montage of a guy dying like slowly dying to end the film. It's a unique structure. It's
Yes, true.
why I like the movie.
But that bird scene,
I think the IRA are bad. I love England. Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady, she's cool.
she's kind of hot.
I would love to use her nose to like chisel stone. You know what I mean? Grab that big
Mm,
dumb head of hair of hers and just like
slam it into
make her
stone.
make her like break some rocks or cement with that fucking bird nose of hers.
Like a
Dude,
woodpecker.
stick it into your have her stick that nose in your butthole, dude.
Yeah, we know that's where that's going.
You
Come
know what I'm
on.
saying?
Don't do that to the Iron Lady. I don't think her beak would be very soft against my dirty anus. And
I
it's
think it could
dirty.
be soft, just soft enough, brother. Hey,
When did this bitch die? Maggie Thatcher?
90s?
just call her
Oh,
Maggie. Let's make her more
2013.
relatable. What the
Man,
fuck was
she
she?
is
What
hideous.
was she doing?
She is pale. She has red hair. I mean, she is
Old British ladies don't age,
ugly.
so they don't go out on top.
Oh, she's conservative. I didn't realize.
Oh, no wonder.
I thought she was Labor. I didn't realize. She's a Tory. Makes a lot of sense. Conservative, huh? Also, England in the 80s. What's this? Falkland Islands? This is an
Tori,
island outside of South America, and they have a colony there. I mean, this country, England, they were all
yeah,
up in everybody's business.
okay,
Hong Kong, India,
yeah. You
um,
got a point. Yeah, I get what you're putting out
Canada,
there.
Australia.
United States of America, guys,
they
for a
did
little bit.
do one thing very well. They set up the Middle East for success, and things have been going
That's
swimmingly
true.
over there after the Ottoman Empire failed.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, the Tories, by the way, what is this? A political party of fucking
The daughter from
sorority
902
girls
and
or
0,
something?
902 and
Yeah,
0.
yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Tory spelling. England
Got it.
sucks.
Just a
Their
just a
country.
bunch of guys. They're not in like those powdered wigs. They're in like blonde, like MySpace haircut wigs. Those are the Tories. That's what they do Parliament. They're wearing
Now,
like Ashley Simpson haircuts.
but they're funny. Peep show, quality entertainment.
Yes. The British, you're
Look
saying?
look around you.
The
Chris
original
Morris.
Office.
Yeah,
Um,
the British are funny, I would say. Or
South
the
Africa. Do they get credit for South Africa?
South Africa was pretty funny. I get what you're saying. It was a pretty funny thing to
Southern
do.
Africa. Now, didn't South Africa have a country inside of it in a circle? Wasn't that like something? I remember as a
Orange,
kid.
orange zone or something.
Southern Africa sounds like Africa, the part of Africa where there's like black people that are racist against other black people. You know what I'm saying?
There's a country inside South Africa called Lesotho.
Lesotho.
Lesotho. This is funny shit. Damn, it looks like Wakanda. This is beautiful.
How does it
Good for
look like
them.
Wakanda?
There's like a giant waterfall
Oh, cool.
when you Google it. I would love to go to Africa. I
Why
would
don't
love
you?
to.
When
I
I'm
would.
down, I would
I would
go.
love to frolic with the animals.
Hey,
Orania. Orania. That's a
Make
city.
love to a virgin. Cure my AIDS.
you have to go see a face and you're trying to cure it.
I'm going on an AIDS curing tour.
That's cool. Um,
Now,
which
on a
country?
scale,
Africa's a
if
big
you
continent, y'all.
wouldn't it be cool if like Bobby Sands is dying and the Queen or Margaret Thatcher's like, I give up. I will kowtow to his demands.
Yeah,
What's
that'd be
he
cool.
eating, huh? Pizza Hut? What do you
Hell
get?
yeah.
Well, after you're hungry, 30 days on strike. What are you guys eating? Number one,
Mm.
Maybe
sushi.
like In and Out.
Hell yeah,
Maybe
bro. Double double.
Shake Shack, something like that.
You gotta go Chick-fil-A. Unless it's a Sunday.
With all the dip and
Okay.
sauce.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
yeah, I'm
Hey,
thinking Wendy's, chili
cool. Hell yeah.
on an
That
empty
almost
tummy
makes it
like
worth
that.
it.
Just I want to really rip some farts.
Yeah. Oh man, think about it. Remember when they first like show him because they like do like a time jump from that one long 20-minute scene to like him being actually on the strike.
Yeah,
And then they show him, I don't know how much weight Michael Fassbender lost or like how much if they like pause production or whatever, but they show him and it's like immediately you see him and he's like mad skinny and stuff and he's like slowly putting on his shirt and everything.
and he
It
has
would have
bed
been,
sores. He's like
yeah, he's
little
got bed
like
sores,
vagina holes all
but
over his
super
body.
skinny. Like you see his bones. It would have been cool if he should have like seen himself in the mirror and been like, oh fuck yeah, like kind of into like his six pack and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like and then jerk off to himself.
Just being like feeling himself, being
Oh,
like,
I'm
ooh,
cut
I'm
up. Look how
skinny,
I'm
man.
cut up.
Yeah,
Look
hell
at that.
yeah.
Like
Jacked.
he's like Silence of the Lambs, do the tuck, the
No,
dick tuck and start
you
dancing
can just be
around.
like, hey, I'm looking good.
Um,
All these other prisoners are fucking fatzos, you
remember
know,
when he's on the
these other
bed
guys.
dying and they take like a plastic cage over him so the blanket doesn't even touch him anymore.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
Yes, I
probably
I
was
like
remember
feeling
that.
that.
pretty bad around that moment when a
Yeah, because
blanket
like the blanket
is
can't.
too is like killing you.
I mean, when doesn't that kind of defeat the whole purpose of a blanket? Do you think that kept him warm, or he's probably cold in there?
They just didn't want to look at his ugly ass,
That's a good point.
skinny and bed
Mm.
sores.
Put a sheet on him or something.
He
I
wasn't
like a
even
nice
moving.
weighted blanket. You guys ever have a weighted blanket? Those are
It's too
nice.
hot. I can't.
I
No,
never.
they're not hot. That's the point.
Really? Tell me more.
They're not they're not like a thick blanket.
Well, how do they make him heavy then?
Yeah, what the fuck?
There's weights in it. It's a weighted blanket.
Weights are hot
Weights on the sides?
Uh,
So it hangs down, but it's
no,
thin.
no, 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 no. Weights
all
all
over.
around, so it's like a heavy blanket, but without making you hot.
Sounds dumb.
There's no way
It's
that
quite
blanket's
it's
cool.
quite nice.
Sounds like one of your Adam's quack schemes to get healthy
A
Not a
cold
quacky
blanket.
scheme.
with a
Lots of people
$14
enjoy.
product he bought on the internet.
It's a little more than $14.
That's
Okay, I
we
spent a
haven't
lot
talked
of
about
money on this stupid
your toe
product.
shoes, your toe
Yeah,
separators, your copper nose cleaner, your
With the
devices.
my devices. I got a
what does he
lot.
use a neti pot? You use a neti pot for your nose?
Yeah, what are you saying? What's an upper nose cleaner?
You said you're like you get this copper stick and you stick it
Oh,
in
that
your
thing. I never
nose and
actually got that.
the copper kills all the bacteria. Copper it can kill all bacteria.
That's why
It's
they
so
make
cool.
doorknobs and railings out of copper because it's antimicrobial. It doesn't.
That's brass.
Oh
Oh,
fuck!
fuck.
Been
No.
Copper
stepping.
sterile.
Copper's brass, motherfucker.
There's two different
Karen
Fucking
things.
idiot,
Brass.
Mike.
Two different things. Two different things.
No.
Copper doorknobs. Where the fuck you have a copper doorknob, bro? Never heard of such a
Maybe
thing.
all the rich people
The
from
doorknob
Pacific
made of pennies.
Palisades. Maybe all
Yeah.
the rich people from Pacific Palisades will go on a hunger strike against Karen Bass because they're like, our house burned down. We want to cut regulations,
Yeah.
and we're going to go on a hunger strike.
Yeah, they probably will do that.
And they're like, we're pissed. Caitlyn Jenner and fucking Adam Carolla and Bill Maher, and they're just like, we got to cut the red tape.
Yeah. That's crazy that all those people are living on the street now.
Dead.
Yeah.
Um,
Sucking dick for coke. You know what I
you
mean?
know,
That kind of stuff.
That's what I would do if I was
God,
burned out of my house.
I think it's safe to say
Just
God
immediately
hates
start sucking
LA
dick for coke.
and we're being smited.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad
Not
they
the
picked
first
that
city,
area.
not the last city.
Yeah.
Um,
You're right. What's up with this fire? When are they going to put it out? It's still going.
well, it might rain this weekend.
Oh, how convenient.
Wonder who is making that happen.
Harp.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, they can control the weather.
So you're saying
Yeah, it's something that
Who-
it's not
who-
do.
who
There won't be
runs
do, but
HARP?
it's something that rhymes with do.
The CIA.
You know what I'm saying?
no?
You know who controls this stuff?
I get it.
I thought they. I would.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
They've said that we felt enough pain and they're ready to turn the weather machine on. You know what I'm saying? William?
I just think it's crazy because you know Israel. They're
Firebombed
like
LA.
they firebombed LA with HARP, but they they are from Palestine, but before,
Yeah,
hmm,
you got it.
Be
they
very
used to
careful
live
what you
there.
say here.
They
Be
used to live
very
there.
careful.
It's where isn't it theirs because they used to live there.
It's biblical.
There are a
But
lot of
if
them
I
in the
could,
Palisades.
but if I convert, so if I convert to Judaism, I can live in the West Bank. Right now, I'm not Jewish at all.
That's
I
no
guess
problem.
so.
That's no problem.
This is a killer situation.
It's pretty
Look,
sweet.
we have a new president now, guys. Everything is going to work out really well. Things are on the up and up. We're winning.
Nothing's terrifying right now.
We're going to get a 7-2 conservative majority in the Supreme Court. That'll be good. When
Yay.
Sotomayor is dying.
She looks like it.
Yeah, why doesn't she start fucking working out like RBG? I don't see any videos of her working out. Is she fucking not doing that? You know what I mean? Is she like just completely like falling apart? At least
Wasting
RBG,
away.
she stayed on way, way, way too long. But hey,
I'm
she's in the
going.
gym at least. I want to see videos of Sotomayor in the fucking gym.
Okay.
At
Okay.
least like
Okay.
eating a salad, like eating healthy or something. Like, what is she doing? Was
In
she
the
just like
gym.
going to Fuddruckers, just like
You know why
Ta-
the Democrats
Taco
getting
Bell.
don't?
coughed at? Yeah.
You know why the Democrats don't retire from the Supreme Court? They just die
Why?
because they think they're special. These idiots actually think they're unique and special. They're not part of the Federalist Society equivalent. They are like, "Oh, I'm special. I got picked. No one can do what I can do. If you replace
Yeah.
me, it's just gonna be some crazy random federal judge who's way out there."
There's like an individualism on that side that the right doesn't have with that. You know
Where
what
the
I'm saying?
right, they're like, I'm part of a project.
Yeah. God damn it.
So we got to start our own
Supreme
project.
Court.
Let's
Okay,
start our
we
own
got to
Supreme
go.
Court.
We got to go to the best law schools. We got to
Okay.
start recruiting students now. And then
Okay.
in 50 years, we'll have the majority.
Yeah. NAMBLA.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what we need to legalize. We got big.
You're
We're
talking
gonna
about
legalize.
NAMBLA, right?
We got the freedom to love, man. Um,
All right. Well, hey.
hey, congratulations, IRA. You did a lot with no money. You starved yourselves to death, even though you got a lot done. Even though you killed people, shot people, bombed people. You fought the UDA. You fought the Red Hand Commandos, or whatever.
The Redhead Commandos.
And the English government. That that's the other big one they fought against.
Yeah,
They
that's
beat
cool.
them.
Going up against the British government is pretty cool. It's
I mean, you
badass.
didn't
It's
do as well
punk
as
as
we
fuck.
did in America, as well as I did personally.
Yeah, true.
They always try to frame these troubles as Protestant and Catholic, but it's really just Irish versus English. It's not, it has nothing to do with the religions.
Yeah, you're right. It's like a colonial versus the
Yeah, yeah, that's what it
colonized.
is. It's not like they were mad about, oh, you're a Catholic, you're a Protestant. They don't give a shit about that.
Also, a little unique. Colonized people are white. That doesn't
Um,
happen that often. The people that are being colonized and the colonizers, both white.
I mean, that's basically all of the UK. Didn't you see Braveheart?
But okay, well, yeah, but I'm saying like normally it's like brown or black
they
people
didn't
that are
consider
being
them
colonized.
white,
The
the
Irish,
Irish.
but they're mega white, dude. How do you not
What
consider them white?
in the United States, we think of people as like colors and races because of slavery, but in Europe, the racism is more subtle because they're more they look alike. So they do look down upon people who are Catholics and Protestants and vice versa.
That is messed up, dude.
Redheads, ginger.
Bunch of
Yeah,
weirdo
so
island whites.
they like the color thing is apparently a very American thing, but like religion is the big um thing most people fight over
Yeah,
around the
but
world.
you're right. There's Catholic, Protestant. It's the same fucking God. You
And
know
there's
what I
that
mean?
very
What's this? What are these idiots doing?
famous
Well,
saying,
one also they like the Pope, right? That
What's the saying, Mike?
N words come in every color, I believe is a saying.
wow.
Oh,
On that,
why did I stop everything to make you
on
quiet?
that, that's true though.
It is
Yeah,
true
that's a good
that,
point.
you know what I mean?
We got three on this podcast right now.
Mm, we have
Two.
two.
Which two? Leave it up
That's
to
the
the viewer.
game.
It's
Figure it out.
yeah.
Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Now, what's our ratings? Now, I'm a big fan. I've seen this movie lots of times. I was worried, like, is this movie gonna hold up? I liked it a lot in my 20s, but it still holds up.
Yeah, it's good. It's really
I
good.
give it 5. I love the artiness, the fartsiness, the
Yeah.
poo, the mashed potatoes, the maggots, the little letters. I love them sticking things up their nose. I love them passing the notes. I enjoy this movie. Some people think it's boring, but I love it.
I will
What
give
do
it a 4. I thought it was kind of boring at the start for maybe like the first 5 or 10 minutes. I was bored, but then after that, it did really kind of pull me in, and I did like it a lot.
yeah,
So I'll give it a
five,
4. 5 is a little
four.
too much.
Like I said, I'm old time fan.
It's
Also, I
artsy.
saw
I
It's
didn't see
artsy
it back
fartsy for
then,
sure.
so I didn't see it when I was 20, so I don't have the same nostalgia.
I'm trying to decide if I give it a 4.5 or a 5. It's just very impressive for a first time movie too. Like, that one like 20-minute scene, Michael Fassbender getting all skinny and shit. Like all the directing choices are really good, but it is kind of fucking like it's too long and it's kind of boring and it's a little artsy fartsy.
too
But
long,
or
short.
not, or
See,
it's
like an
like,
hour and a
but it's
half,
slow.
hour
It
and
has
40
like
minutes.
not that it's too long.
Also, you have to
Well,
remember
actually, if it's like fucking if it's an hour and 40 minutes, but then there's an entire scene of a scene of a guy mopping up an entire hallway of pee that you have to watch. Like, is that a good balance?
hell yeah, dude. It's about the piss.
It's all about the
Best
piss. No,
supporting
the
piss.
pace.
I like it. Hey,
Four and a half,
low budget.
five.
It's a low budget movie. It's very clever. It's very
Yeah,
clever.
yeah, low
But
budget
also,
for
it
sure.
is
Got to give it up.
this movie. The tragedy of this movie, though, is that it seemed like an announcement of this like great new filmmaker, and then he seems to have lost his way. Like I tried watching his new movie, Blitz. It's very boring. I mean, it's for kids. It's a children's movie, but I thought this guy would be making just awesome art films. I guess it's good he's not making Marvel movies, but I don't know. I thought he would have more of a. I thought his career would be very different at this point. Maybe he has another one in him. I enjoy 12 Years a Slave. I know Mike
I love that movie.
thinks he can quote it endlessly.
Master Epps is my yeah.
It
I
took
don't
me it took me like years to get him to finally watch it. It's
Why
like
did you? Why?
I don't want to watch it.
Oh, you just thought it'd be like depressing and shit.
I don't know. I'm an
Yeah, it's
idiot.
not a fun time.
It's pretty fun.
Paul Giamatti,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. The slave auctioneer or
That
whatever.
part's good. No,
Patsy.
yeah, he when he's with a nice slave master, Mr. Ford. He
Now,
puts it,
you know who has had an amazing career is Michael Fassbender
Of
from
course.
yeah. Yeah, he's
He's
killing it.
really done great work. The Killer, that movie I think is becoming more relevant all the time. I mean, the final scene of The Killer where he's confronting the CEO of the tech company. It was like,
Oh,
what is this, Luigi Mangione? I mean, this is
ah.
very relevant. Assassinations. I think assassinations are the hot new thing. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more political violence. I'm hoping we get some drone assassinations in the future. I'm hoping for
Drones for the people, you're saying? You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
hoping the people use the drones and get some big targets. This is what I'm
Yeah.
into. So I hope in the future, I think terrorism, political violence, cyberpunk style, you know, shenanigans, people vaping, people doing galaxy gas, driving
Hell yeah.
Teslas on autopilot,
Snorting
crashing
ketamine,
into
spraying
crashing
ketamine up there.
into important people, VIPs, elites,
Yeah.
pushing back.
It is cool to die for something. You know what I mean? Most people die for nothing. Like fucking
I will die
losers.
for the William promise is I will die for nothing in this life.
Yeah, almost definitely. And
But
of
the other
course, I'm sure I will also, and Mike probably. But that's why I'm saying,
I
like, well, hey, guys,
Steve McQueen, if you're listening, here's a little advice for you. What I would like you to do, let's make a Chris Dorner movie. We need this movie. When is America going to get the awesome Christopher Dorner movie?
dude, that would be sick. Hey,
We need this movie.
what if you killed a healthcare CEO, but nobody cared because everybody thought you were too ugly?
No, that would be very funny. That would be very silly.
Yes, a little silly thought to end the episode with.
I think it's cool to do a little, and then when you go to prison, you get to act up. Like Luigi, he's acting up right now. He's like,
Yeah, I
I don't,
could play some pranks,
this is
just mess around.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, Mike, did you do that? Any of that in jail? Any of this? This is bullshit stuff.
No, I just did it. I just did
In
my
high
time.
school, middle school, Mike
Leave
would
me
say,
alone.
if I ever went to prison, here's what I would do. I would shit in my hands, then I would rub shit all over my naked body, so I'd be the poo man, and nobody would rape me.
Well,
Oh, that's a
I
smart
didn't have
idea,
to do
Mike.
all that, and nobody raped me, and I didn't rape anybody.
It's good you figured that out, but before you tried, felt like you had to do that. So, because
If
if
I
you
go
do
to
that and nobody was
prison,
going to rape you anyway, then you feel like an
if I
idiot.
go to prison, you can rape me. I'm not giving you permission. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just being honest here.
You're
I
saying
have.
that he's rape you. You will be
I.
very rapeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, make it a challenge for him at least, William.
I will make it a challenge. I'm just saying, though. I'm just telling the audience.
You go to jail and the first day you're like in the shower and you just immediately just bend over. You're like, all right, who wants to start? Everybody's like, what are you talking about? You're like, go ahead. Whoever's first, just start going.
Come
I
on, get it
know I'm
over
the
with. I know
new
you want to
guy.
rape me.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm standing there nude with arms akimbo,
Yeah.
micro
You're
penis.
spreading your butthole open because you're like, guys, come on.
I have a micro penis that's as hard as an acorn.
You're like, you're like, guys,
Come
we
on.
got it. We only have 10 more minutes before you better
My
get going
bush,
on this raping.
my bush is over my micro penis. There's no visible
Hey,
genitalia.
speaking of that, I have Michael Fassbender in Shame. He's got a big hog, but in this movie, you can't even see his penis. You can't even see his penis. You only see pubes when he's laying down.
He has a giant bush that's like 6 inches long, like a sea urchin. It's huge. Now,
Yeah,
now
camera
David
tricks.
Lynch died
I didn't
next
show.
week. Are we going to do a David Lynch movie?
Hey, do you want to
sure.
do the Elephant Man? Because I was actually going to watch that movie.
We can do Elephant Man or we can do Dune. What do you want to do?
I would vote for Elephant Man.
You vote for Elephant Man? All right, we can do Elephant Man.
It's the first time since that one birthday where we watched Rumble in the Bronx because it was my birthday. This is the first time that I've one of my ideas has
Well,
been
it's the
picked.
first time you picked a good movie.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
ouch.
No, he's right.
Boom, boom, boom,
Hey,
shakalaka.
Williams,
The sniper.
I'm gonna rape. I'll get him back in prison. When I'm in prison, all
No,
right.
you won't. Yes, you will.
You being coy makes it a little less fun.
I don't
You're gonna
like
do it.
if you like this, then I'm just a gay guy having sex with a willing participant.
That's true. That's true.
It's
If
all
you
about
And
how
there's
you
nothing
frame
wrong
it.
with that.
It's all perspective.
Yeah,
it's all just a big
it's
frame.
it's actually beautiful. So
All right, I got to get out of here. I'm a little hungry.
this is yeah. All this talk has made me want to go eat a sandwich. All right, see you fellas.